Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey everybody, my name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey pal, that felt like the most NPR version of our beginning. Hello, you're listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast.
That's because we're alone. Everyone's always more dramatic. Everybody's always more dramatic when they're by themselves.
I mean, I'm alone, but I'm not alone. The kids are with the wife in the bedroom doing homework and stuff. So at any moment, it could be like the Kool-Aid man bursting in here while we're recording the podcast.
My son is napping. My daughter is home from school, and she's vegging out with an iPad.
Yeah.
I think they're all chilling right now.
Big first day.
A moment of
Let's
silence.
get into it. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, so for a quick recap for everybody who is just joining, the program.
If this is your first podcast, welcome in.
Welcome. Well, this is a Dumb Dad Podcast. It's exactly what it sounds like. So, whole family, besides myself, got COVID, and that was forcing my daughter to miss her whole first week of school.
Right.
And
first week of first grade.
First week, first grade. Missed the whole thing. And then right at the tail end of it all, I got COVID. I was the only one who didn't have it.
COVID came into you like the Kool-Aid man.
Brutal. It's been brutal. So a quick recap. So my daughter misses school, which she's fine with, which is hilarious. She's in first grade. I think she's just like, she likes just being at home. I don't think she hates school. I think she's just like, whatever, I like being home. And you're like, yeah, that's fair.
I think that's so funny that she's like already sort of has that mentality before first grade.
You know what it is, though? I think
Can't
her
be bothered,
mentality
really.
is that, I think it's that she's I think it's based on the fact that we had a busy summer. She, for the most part, her friends were on vacation. Then we were on vacation. Then her friends were like sick or something. And then just like, she didn't hang out with a ton of school friends over the summer break. So to a degree, there wasn't a ton of anticipation for like, I can't wait to go play with my friends, which is like what it should be at this age.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that to me seems like it could be a result of COVID just being like, that's kind of been in the practice, right, for the longest time, which is like, don't go too many places, don't do too many things when cases surge and all these things, and then it's like, keep it home. But at the same time, we both have two children, right? So there is someone to play with, if you think of it that way. Like the first time we, out of COVID, did a play date with my son and a couple of a friend of his. They have one kid, and so they were like, man, we've been wanting to play with or have her play with another kid for so bad for so long. You don't really think of that.
Yeah, it's definitely been, she's had her cousins and her little brother, and so she's been having a fun summer of doing stuff. So the idea of well, now you have to go back to a school schedule, she was like, I don't want to do that. And we were like, yeah, I get it. You want to stay home and play with your brother, play video games, whatever.
She is the kid. She is the kid her age that I know that's like sleeps like a teenager. She sleeps until 9 o'clock or whatever.
She does sleep till 9 o'clock. Well, her first day of school was today. So,
right.
But I'll get to that in a second. I had COVID, and here's my thing. So, when the wife and the kids had COVID, I talked about this on the last podcast. Obviously not obviously, but we luckily had never been through this situation before, and weren't sure exactly how to navigate it, because it's like, well, we don't want me to get sick, but at the same time, she's sick and has two kids. I can't just leave her alone, and who knows? I probably didn't balance it the best I could have of being there, but at the same time, it was like, how do I, what's the risk versus reward situation here?
Right. Is she working too, or is she not?
She was working some. She took off the second half of the week. But yeah, she's taken some time, but I stepped in a few times, and of course I ended up getting COVID. So when I got it,
I guess let me jump in really quick and say that she works from home, and she wasn't going into the office with COVID and then took the second half of the week off.
No, she packages food, and she was in person. They don't believe in masks. So If anybody eats peanut butter, I'd recommend maybe not. She works at a peanut butter factory.
Good
for legal
Lord.
purposes, she does not. She works from home. Everyone relax.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, Kevin. She makes peanut butter from home
factory.
and sells it.
She works at Jelly Factory. Yeah. She doesn't. Anyway, so she does work from home, and it was like one of those things. When I got COVID, when I tested positive, I woke up one morning and I was like, I feel a little weirder than usual. I always feel weird. I'm old, 36 every morning you wake up, something's wrong. Every morning it could be, is it COVID or is it just my back's blown out? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I sleep? Did I sleep with my mouth open or do I have a virus? I don't know. That's what's, that's what being older is.
It feels like constantly over here. Just turned 41, constantly wake up at 50 somehow. My body's like, no.
Yep. So I woke up, felt weirder than normal, took a test, was positive, took my mask off. And I was like, all right, well, the silver lining to this is now I'm here. We don't need to, we don't need to walk on eggshells.
Especially when your whole family has had it, and here you're the one that hasn't had it. Now you're like, well,
here's the thing.
Can I still somehow avoid it?
I think you talked about
this. But then if
this.
you get it, it's like, all right, here we are.
Exactly. And you brought this up, I think, on last week's podcast, where you said something along the lines of like, why don't we all just get it and get it over with?
Yeah.
Which, I get that mentality. But here's the problem with that mentality. I did not handle it well. I got wrecked by this thing. So,
COVID,
worst case scenario. I'm like, all right, I'm here. Hopefully I don't get hit too bad, but we can all just I had the fever. I had a fever for like 36 hours, maybe longer, on and off. It was pretty rough. Yeah. And just the whole thing. I was just taken out. It was pretty bad. I'm still not good right now. I'm symptomatic right now. But whatever, I'm getting through it.
I'll be the first to say it.
It's a filter.
Comment in the chat.
I paid a lot of money for this filter. It's the COVID filter.
Send me the password so we can both share it next time.
It's the Pfizer filter. Anyway, so we're kind of like finally getting through it, and it was a bummer because I'm still very symptomatic, and it's my daughter's first day of school. Right. So it was definitely like this weird thing. But I will say, and it was very sweet, we got her it was my wife's idea. She found, my daughter watches this YouTube guy, Farzi, who does like Minecraft videos. Mm-hmm. And he just talks you through how he makes stuff, and it's really fun because my daughter does watch those videos, and then she plays, and then she does it, and it's like, oh, that's cool. So you're like learning how to do these different like inventions and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, he, just like the dumb dads, he's on Cameo.
Is he?
Yeah. So we got her a Cameo. It was very sweet. We showed it to her last night. We were like,
what's up, noob? This is Farsi.
Yeah. He's like, lose, unsubscribe, I hate you. I was like, oh, wow, he's really problematic.
Anyway, here, look.
But no. But it's fine. We still paid for it. So here it is.
Yeah.
So we showed it to her. We were like, and it's just like saying, hey, Lucy, so excited for your first day of school, all that stuff. Thanks for watching my videos, blah, blah, blah. My daughter, she cried after she watched it. It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Like,
really? Because she was so... I'm waiting for you to tell me that she's like, who was that?
No. Well, right before we played it, because there was a part of me that was like, does he ever show his face? It's like, because a lot of those YouTubers are just like, sometimes they're in the bottom corner and sometimes it's just a video. So I was like, right before we started the video, I go, who is that? Like, she's like, Farsi. I was like, all right, thank God. This would have all been a dumpster fire. Otherwise.
It's
yeah. She's like, oh, that's, I don't know, teacher? Great. Anyway, she was really excited. She cried, which was very unexpected from both.
That's really sweet.
My wife and I. We were like, it was very like a celebrity had sent her a video. She was like beside herself. I thought it was the coolest thing.
That's so funny because you don't. I wonder when does it hit that like your kids might think somebody's a celebrity or something.
I know. It was like,
maybe she doesn't know that's a celebrity, but
I-
it's like, I watch this guy all the time. He never talks to me or anybody else, but now he's talking to me. That's pretty cool. That's probably,
it meant something to her.
Yeah, it meant something.
It was really, really sweet. We were really like, oh my God. We filmed it and we like, of course, being those parents, she goes to bed. We watched the video like 5 times. Not the Farzi video. Her reaction. Just to be clear, we didn't watch the Farzi video.
I know what you meant.
He's great. He's great. We're not going to rewatch it. So she had her first day of school today, which was bittersweet. I mean, there's nowhere to, I know like you guys can wave goodbye through the fence. Now where she's getting dropped off, that's not really a thing. You just drop her off at the front gate. And
I mean, yeah, who knows how
see there
schools operate now, because we still we pass him through the gate and wave as he like runs to his classroom. But at the same time, like usually you go and you take your kids into the classroom. We're still an LAUSD. Yeah. We can't go like onto school grounds. We just drop them off the fence.
So I was a little bummed that I didn't get to walk her to the gates, just a gate walk. But I was still like, I had to stay across the street with a mask on. I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm still technically sick.
Right.
But yeah, I got to drop her off at school. But yeah, it was a weird day of like, all right, I can't go across the street with you. Have a good day at school.
Weird start to your school year.
If anybody is wondering, she's negative. She's past day 10 of having it. Just so people are like, wait, you have COVID and your kids, we held it off as long as possible. Everybody else was fine. She's fine.
For sure.
But it was definitely a weird experience. And she came back and she seems like she was cool with it. Like she was happy with school. And she didn't get homework.
Was she apprehensive at all
today,
about knowing that like she had missed a week of school, and like, is there any sort of like, but I'm not going to know anybody. They're already all going to be best friends, and all, there was not even a conversation yet.
She was a little nervous about it, for sure. I think, I don't know if it was like if she could pinpoint that exact feeling. So overall, the first day of school was successful. The whole week leading up, the whole month has been a dumpster fire, just garbage pit. I mean, my wife's birthday, was chilling, whatever, because she was sick. I tested positive the next morning. The next morning, I tested positive. It was just like, oh, okay.
What a great trade-off.
I'm glad I took off your birthday. And then on the horse the next day.
Right.
So I think that has been the most defeating part, is me getting it. Has just been like, just move the goalposts again. Like the finish line rather. Like, it's just, okay. Because when this many people have it, when did you get it? Okay, we're thinking 5 to 10 days from then. And go back to regular life.
I know.
And then I get it, and it's like, never effing mind. Nothing.
Just reset it. It's constantly like resetting. I mean, that's what we were talking about a little bit about last week. It was like, how do you do just everybody gets it, or where, because it's like a math equation as to like, well, when's the last person, and then how many days after they test negative, or how many days can we then go see, it's like, it's hard to judge. So
yeah, I'll say no on everyone getting it.
Yeah,
I'll still say no on everyone getting it, only because I got rocked. If an adult gets it first, it's like you could send them away, and then not everybody. But if a kid gets it, one of the kids gets it first, it's going to be so hard for no one to get it. Like, it's going to be so hard. And it was.
But that's good. I'm glad her first day was, otherwise pretty positive, sounds like, and that it went normal fitting. The thing that sucks is like the first week, which probably doesn't matter that much, but like the first week, like, there was no homework. It was just like getting to know people and stuff. Like, that kind of sucks to miss out on that, because like today, like her first day, our first day of the second week is like, all right, we're in school now. Like the first week is kind of a blending.
What was summer vacation like? Let's get to know each other.
Right. The only homework they had was like an end of week project that was like, tell us about yourself, and you had to make like a color in the poster and all that kind of stuff. And today it's like, you have homework. You have homework today. He brought home math and spelling today, which is her first day at school. It was like, hi, welcome to the classroom. So sorry to hear you're sick. Here's your homework.
It's funny kids retelling of their retelling of stories, because the one thing that my daughter was apprehensive of was she was just like, I'm worried the teacher's going to be mean. And we were like, why are you worried the teacher's going to be mean? And she's like, well, I've heard her yell before. And I was like, oh, like last year when you were in kindergarten and you saw her and yelling at the kids or something. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, she's a teacher and she's got kids and that's going to happen. But you don't know what it's like to be her student. That might have just been her in a bad mood. You've been in a bad mood. Like, we talked to her about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, she comes home from school today. She loves her teacher. She's like, my teacher's awesome. I think she's so cool. And I was like, great. See? Told you. I knew you would love her. And
she yelled all day long.
My wife said to her, she goes, when you met her, so you went in line this morning, you lined up with all the other students who presumably have all been there all week last week. And, you know, you're starting day 1. They're on day 6, week 2. And she's like, what did the teacher say? Was the teacher like, oh, hi, Lucy, welcome to the class? Or was she just like, you know, did she do anything? And my daughter goes, oh, she said, get in line. And we're just like, my wife and I immediately start laughing because we're like, I guarantee you that's not how it happened. There's no way that you like this teacher and that happened that way. That's hilarious.
First impression
is get in line. And I was like, and then my wife goes, so then what'd you say after that? Or what'd you guys do? And she goes, well, we got in line. She said, get in line. We got in line. Like, my daughter's
so funny.
I adore, and I don't want my daughter to lose this personality trait of certain things cannot like break her skin. Like, certain things can. She's gotten upset about the littlest things before, like we all do.
Right.
But then occasionally you hear something and you go, and how'd you
yeah.
She's like,
because that would
she's just like,
probably ruin my whole day.
Yeah. And she goes, well, we got in line. What are you talking about? She said, get in line. We got in line. It was fine.
Love this lady.
Woman's doing her job.
You know what I like
Show
about
her
her?
some
No
respect.
frills.
Do you want her to not be mad? I don't know. Maybe pay teachers more. She's just doing all this work. She's allowed to be a little grumpy. And we're like, it's just really funny.
These other students are whining about her attitude, but it's like, get in fucking line. You know what I'm saying? We got work to do.
Yeah.
I get this.
It's just funny because
I get this.
We were just like, it made no sense to us because we were like, you're worried she's going to be mean. Then the story you told us implies that she was mean, and you're like, love her. She's great. Real down to earth, real salt of the earth kind of person. Just real.
Has a thing about lines. Has a bit of a thing about lines, but really,
yep, a real stickler. But you get it. I mean, we're first graders. You know, if we don't have direction.
I mean, to be fair, we were all over the place. We were absolutely everywhere.
I mean, just fingers and noses, eyes everywhere, but we're facing front. It was a mess.
Oh my god!
But yeah, she likes her teacher. She likes her school. I've been doing PTA stuff all day today. All day today. I was on the phone with IT for the Los Angeles United School District with the IT department.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it was wild doing all that. Just going over, signing up for school events, getting the restaurant nights in, PTA memberships. On the phone with the principal, I was like, okay, but can I have a first week back where I just draw a poster board of my summer or something? I know Hi,
I'm Kevin. I like Marvel stuff.
Hi, my summer was great. My favorite thing about the summer was pizza and ice cream. But no, just right back in it.
Oh, man. Well, hey, welcome back, pal. Welcome back right into the throes. Well,
so how's your week been?
It's been good. I mean, I will say the first week was cool, kind of just getting back into a little bit of the schedule of it. And again, pretty relaxing week because he just had the project to work on. But he likes his teacher. The Yeah, the chaos. I think we talked about like the chaos of the drop-off gate and everything. So we're just down at the gate we're supposed to be at. It's been working out. He gives a good hug at the beginning, and then he runs across the whole entire playground to his class.
Is that because you're always running late?
No. Like where our drop-off gate is like the second grade drop-off gate is far away where his class lines up.
No, I get the distance. I just mean that you're saying he runs to class. Is that
he just runs.
Pushing it?
He just runs. He's a kid. He just takes out running. Like,
okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to know details.
It's hilarious.
I just like to know that you're always late. Yeah. It's funnier to me if you're always late.
I'm not always late. Actually, this year I've been even better at like, once you start to like get into your routine, it's like I know to the minute when I can leave my house and he'll be good to get into school. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's on, and it's a family thing, sometimes it's on him where he's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And it's like, you better go right now, man, because we got to go, like that kind of thing.
Can I tell you how lazy of a parent I am? So we are lucky enough to, and this is, I understand this is going to be true of almost pretty much it's true of every parent. So we're lucky enough to get to walk our kid to school, right? Been doing it since last year. And so we found out that her drop-off gate was like, oh, it's the north side of the school, halfway across. And you're just like, oh, come on. Because we are located near like the south side of the school.
Yeah.
And
so we were like, across all of it.
We walk past like 3 entrances and we can't use any of them because that's not where you do the drop-off. And we were just like, ugh, so inconvenienced by an extra like 3-minute walk. And walking to school, we never were late. We never had to bring her in through the principal's office. So we got lucky on that situation. But there was a few times where it was like, or a couple times going, hey, we're going to ride your scooter. Let's see how fast you can get to school. Like we definitely did that a few times.
Yeah.
So today at drop-off, first day of school, we find out that her gate is, we knew this last week, but we found out that her gate was, again, called the North Gate, but it's the northwest side. So we're like, oh, that's closer. That's on our same side of the street. Sweet. So we go to drop her off, and we run into one of our classmates, and they're like, oh, no, that's pickup. Drop-off is over here, which is even closer. Our drop-off is the closest door to the school that we can get to.
It's a different gate for pickup and drop-off?
Yeah, it makes no sense. But it's fine. But here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see how many times we push it still.
Right.
Even though we are just a stone's throw to get her to school.
It's because it's so convenient that you will start to take advantage of that, in your...
It's just, it doesn't matter if you're a half hour from school or 5 minutes from school, you will leave, 31 minutes early or
True.
5 minutes and 15 seconds early. You
True.
will. And that's just the truth of the human condition.
So far, it seems to have rung true that where we were last year, I think it's how traffic can pull into the street and get there, because it was like so chaotic all the time. Like people like stopping in the middle because there's no parking, so they just stop in the middle while you're behind them trying to responsibly find a parking spot, and they're like, just stop. Kids get out, they get out, like just leave their car with the flashes on, just in the middle of the road. Like, come on, I'm more important. That's all I'm saying is like, hey, I'm more important than you. My schedule and my time is way more important than you. So we're just going to get out here because who cares? And you're thinking like, really, So, but this year, so far, it's been like I drive down the other side of the school and there's usually a space, and we park a little bit further away each time. And I'm not even talking like a full block, just a little bit further away, so we can get out and casually walk down the sidewalk and have a little chat before he goes into his gate. And I can see down at that end, there's still cars like honking at each other down there, because there's like an apartment complex alleyway.
It's ruthless.
People are getting in and out of, and like all that kind of stuff. So like now we're at least we're avoiding all that at least.
Drop-off is just a wild animal. People, I feel like I'd like to see those people see each other later. I feel like it'd be like one of those like intense moments. When you're at like a job and you kind of yell at your coworker yells at you, especially like a restaurant job or something, where they just kind of like snap at you and you're like, that was a bit much. And then later, like, you guys are hanging out after work or whatever, you're having a drink or something, and they don't even bring it up because you're just kind of like, you all acknowledge that, like, well, we were in a stressful work environment. I don't really take it personally. You flew off the handle. I don't even need an apology. It's totally fine that we're not even going to bring it up. I feel like that's how parents are drop off. Like, they're honking at each other, come on, and all that stuff. But like later, if they saw each other, like, no, I get it. I get it. It was bad. It was a bad morning. We all had a bad morning.
It's a wild scene. It's a wild scene out there. It's a wild west.
Well, I'm not going to say we're in this together because we weren't. I needed to get to work by myself.
Yeah, exactly. And you were in my way, and I
but
hated
at the same time, yeah.
And you had a dumb parenting moment, and guess what, Kevin? I had a dumb dad moment this week.
Hit me.
We went to, I think we had some errands to run. And it was like on Sunday. And so we had some errands to run, and we get in the car to go drive around, take care of our errands, etc. And like, first location, I started driving, took my time getting there, wasn't going like the direct route there. My wife's kind of making fun of me. And then later on, like, going towards the second location, here's the thing. I was just out for a Sunday drive. Like, I had no destination to head to. I was just passing all the streets I should be turning right on because that's how you get there. Like, I got on the freeway. I'm like, I'll take the freeway. She's like, okay. How the freeways work in California, like, there's a lot of freeways in California and Southern California, in LA. And it's the stereotypical joke, but I made the mistake.
You didn't have to take the freeway,
north.
But you did.
Right. But then I head north, and then I don't get off at Sepulveda, which means you have to get on the 405. Because I was just like, my son's in the back talking to me, right? So we're having a conversation together, which is what I'm focused on. I'm not really focused on, like, get off here so you can get off and go to Target. I'm thinking, I'm just driving on the freeway, chatting with my son. My wife's like, don't you want... So now we're on another freeway, getting off way north, headed down surface streets to get back to where Target is. It's just like, I was just along for the ride, even though I was driving. And my wife's making fun of me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just chatting with you guys. I'm not sending it in my mind that we're going somewhere. You know what I mean? I was just driving around. And my son's like, what's happening? I was like, everyone's safe. I'm not making driving mistakes. I'm just making directional mistakes. I'm not even directional mistakes. I'm just not even paying attention to, like, that we're focused on getting somewhere. I'm just driving around. I was driving around having just a nice time in the car driving around. My wife's like, can you go to Target now, please?
I would argue you made you got lucky, but you made a serious driving mistake. You shouldn't choose to stay on a highway in Los Angeles. Ever.
No. Correct.
In no circumstance should you go, first of all, if you don't have to take the highway, don't take the highway. And certainly don't get on the 405 for fun.
No. That was not for fun. Where I turned around, it was like, we were at the gas station, which is kind of how it started. I could have taken like a left, but it would have been going like across all the traffic. You know, like, and it was close to the intersection too. So the first thing I thought was, well, that's kind of like a sketchy move. I don't really feel like doing that right now. Like, that's kind of a sketchy way to leave a driveway in all this traffic. So I take a right, and then none of those surface streets before the freeway go like all the way across the valley to the Target. And so I thought, well, I'll just jump on the 101, which goes across the valley, and I'll jump off at Sepulveda, and then that's where Target is. That was my thinking. So it wasn't necessarily like, I had no idea what I was doing. So it was like, that'll make enough sense, but I missed the Sepulveda exit, which then now your freeway just gets you on the 405. And it was like,
you're lucky. That could have been a half-hour mistake.
It could have been a half-hour mistake.
That could have been
easily. But you know why it wasn't? Because we didn't have a schedule and we didn't need to be anywhere. But if we needed to be somewhere and I accidentally did that, 100%, it would have been like, it would have been an hour, half an hour to an hour mistake. It only happens when you cannot have it happen. Like
that is true.
To school,
I'll give you that.
On your way to school,
going to
or
school,
to go pick up your kid. Yeah,
I like that you described it as I was just enjoying time with my family, and your whole family is like, "What are you doing? We want this car ride to end."
Right.
You're the dad who just can't I want to hold on to this moment. And they're like, we're done with the moment. And you're like, can we just 5 more minutes? And they're like,
wasn't even really a moment, man.
Stop. We're done. Move on. Have another kid or get a fish. I don't know what to tell you.
They're just as expensive as each other.
It's costing us time.
They're about as expensive as each one. Let me tell you. I'm here to tell you.
A fish and a child? I think your wife does the finances.
It's close. The surprise finances, the shock of that, very similar.
I can tell you how much I spent on shoes for both of them, and the child is lapping the fish.
Well, yeah, because the fish is wearing shoes. Now it's having trouble swimming.
I did have it is kind of a funny dumb dad moment where I was just like, oh, God. So I'm doing the PTA stuff today that I was mentioning earlier. I mean, I got thrust into it. Friday, they were like, how are you? And I was like, I have a fever with COVID. And they said, great. So we have this thing that needs to be submitted by Monday, or we can't have an event at the school welcoming everybody back. It was a big deal. I had to get
no pressure.
This thing
no
done.
Pressure.
So I was like, by Monday? And they said, sure. And I went, great.
Good.
And this was early enough in the morning, so I look and I'm going through my paperwork of all the old stuff that I did last year, and I'm like, oh man, I can't. Not to get into the weeds, bore people, especially because most people listening aren't in the Los Angeles public school system. But there's 2 websites. There's the regular school website, LAUSD, and then there's the ones just for the PTA. I can't figure out what the PTA website is. And I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at my search history. I'm going through paperwork and I can't find it. So I was like, I'll just ask the principal real quick. What's the website? So just text them. We're all in a group chat. What's the website again? She doesn't answer me. And then the day ends and then it's the weekend. And then it's Monday morning. Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, sick or not, they said today was the day. So then
I can also tell you, Kevin, I mean, I'm just going to make an assumption across the board here. I don't think Los Angeles School District is the only school district in the nation
with a garbage website.
As an iffy website. Yeah.
I know it's not. We've made some content that has gone quite viral with that joke.
With one joke, people are like,
one joke, people are like, yes, joke. Website's trash. And it was one. So this morning, they were like, I just messaged the group, hey, gonna get that thing done today. And they were like, great. And I go, so what's the website that I can do this sign, I can submit the form for? And you get the response that is the worst possible one. It's like when somebody just goes my name, you're like, is that person's name Brendan or Brandon? Is it Brendan or Brandon? And hey, how do you spell your name? And they're like, oh, just the usual way. It was like that. I said, what was the website that I need to? She's like, the same one that you submit all the forms for. It's the same one. It's not going to be a special one. And I was like,
and if it wasn't the principal, you would say, you don't know either, do you?
So I had to be like,
what did you do?
I mean, I just had to be like, I don't have it. Here's the thing, guys. Sometimes, and I've used lies throughout all of my life to get away with things, to get out of trouble. And then oftentimes you get taught a lesson where people say, honesty is the best, and you go, I disagree, you're wrong. You just aren't being honest with me now. You're lying about being honest. I don't believe you.
Right.
In this case, it was the truth. I just said, listen, I don't have it. My search history doesn't have it. And I haven't had to submit one of these forms since last year. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know where I'm going.
Also, you don't say anything about I also asked you Friday, you didn't respond. So
he's the
here
principal. We are. I have one job. She has 1,000. She gets a full pass on that.
I get it. You don't want to get sent to her.
This is supposed to be my job. In her defense, this is my job, and it's one.
You had one job.
I had one job. So she did. She helped me walk me through that. But that was definitely a dumb dad moment of just the thing that you asked me to do. I'm going to do it, but you're going to have to hold my hand the whole time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But listen, guys.
Enough, I'm on a podcast called the Dumb Dad Podcast.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, no, I listen. She doesn't.
I knew what I was signing up for when I invited you to be on the PTA, but again, you raised your hand and no one else did, so here we are.
So that was mine. That's where I'm at. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, well.
Our best? I don't know. Could it be better? Probably. But this is where we're at.
Hey, we're just out here trying our best, and hopefully that's good enough. I tell you, my wife texted me. She was listening to me telling you my dumb dad moment, and she was like, I can't believe you didn't tell this dumb dad moment because I had blocked out something I did that was really stupid.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
And I got another one for you. So my wife went out with a friend this week to get some drinks. Uh-huh. And I was like, go out, stay out as late as you possibly can, have a great time. I'll be here with the kids. And it was one of those moments too, like, the hour and a half before my wife was like scheduled to leave, the kids were like at each other, and like if one wasn't bickering, the other one was crying, and they like could not play nice. It was just like, ugh. And I kept asking her, when are you going to leave? Because I was not the joke like, please don't leave. My joke was like, how have you not left the house yet? Like just to go away before you have a night, because it was like, whatever, that stuff doesn't bother me, like you're gonna leave me home with this, like, because parenting is parenting, it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen anyway. So the idea was, you go out with a friend, have some fun, I'll order dinner with the kids, we'll order something that they like. So right as my wife was like leaving, I'm like ordering some food for us, right? And I'm with my son, I'm like, what do you want? He's like, I really want a good cheeseburger. I'm like, great, we'll get a good cheeseburger
delivered. Good luck.
Yeah. So quick little backstory. Through like our bank, we were chatting about this week. Like our bank was like, hey, because you bank with us, I don't know how this stuff works, but it's like you get a year's free delivery of like one of the delivery services, right? Services. And I forgot. So I just went on and like found the one that said that they delivered this burger spot. And so I order it, and then for some reason when I order it, it didn't take one of the burgers. Like my son and I got a burger, then we ordered like some fries and like little sliders for my daughter. And it's like, submit order. And then it's like, here's your order. They're like, one of the burgers was not on there. And I was like, oh, but I noticed it immediately. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. There's no button here to like add to the order or adjust the order. It's like they barely had probably even accepted it yet, But I don't know what to do, so I'm like, okay. So I look on their website. What do I do? They're like, contact the merchant if you need to cancel an order or something. I'm like, okay. But of course that's not how it works. And I call the merchant, and they're like, I don't even see your order here. I'm like, okay, well, it's probably coming through in a second. But but all I want to do is like, can I cancel it? Can you cancel it? And I'll just reorder really quickly. And she's like, yeah. And then finally she's like, oh, I see it here. Let me pull it up. I don't have any way of canceling this. So now I'm thinking like, here we are now in the situation where they don't really have the order yet, and now they have it, but now they can't really cancel it. So now I got to go into the app, but now all this time has passed. It's like, now it's going to now I already see like the end of the story. It's like, I'm going to get double charged and all this stuff. So I get on with I'm like, okay, just cancel it if you can. Don't make those. I'm going to reorder. She's like, okay. So and then that company that I ordered with was not our free delivery. So I get on now, I'm like, okay, I'm going to cancel. At least it's going to be canceled. I'll figure out a way to cancel it. So I'm getting on the chat with this company now to please cancel the order. And the person's like, how can I help you today? I'm sorry to hear you had a problem. Let me look into your account. I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, great. And like half an hour goes by, and I'm like, hello, chat person? Hello? Like, no, just ghosted me. So I reordered, but in the meantime, I'm opening new tabs and ordering with the correct delivery service to get the burgers sent to us. Yeah. And then I'm like on chat with like 2 or 3 of these people to finally get the first one canceled. After I'm like, the last chat person ghosted me. I don't know what. I'm just trying to cancel an order here. Yeah. The burgers finally get to our house. They're kind of wrong because it was like a combination of the 2 orders, but everybody had something to eat, so it was fine.
That's great.
The next morning, my wife is like, the second order, It was the correct delivery service, but you used the in-laws card to pay for it.
Oh. Look at you.
So
wow.
We get a text that was like, did you guys enjoy dinner last night? On us.
That's embarrassing.
It was pretty embarrassing. So we sent them the money and stuff. It was like, our apologies. It's like, man, could I have screwed that up any more? Like,
That's a
I don't
mess.
think I could.
You really
I don't
messed
think I could.
up.
It was like this.
That's so good.
And the whole conversation was, let's just order dinner a little bit earlier because the kids, it's like they stayed up late last night. So, by the time the dinner was late, they went to bed late. It was like, man. I will say this, when mommy left, they were cool. They had a great time together. We had a nice night. They were patient they were pretty hungry by the time the food got there, but they were patient while I'm like, can you guys just give me a second? I want to play with you.
They were good as far as you know. Your back was to them staring at a computer screen talking to nobody for an hour straight.
You should have seen the desperation of my texting on this chat with this person. I'm like, please, I'm just trying to cancel this order before it gets charged to me.
You can just see the shot of like the camera. You're facing the camera, hunched over a computer screen behind you. Kids are like flamethrower with a shield, throwing knives at each other.
Yeah, juggling knives. Yeah, it couldn't have been more of the dumb out loud version of myself over here while I'm like encouraging my wife to go have an evening with her friend. I'm like, don't worry, we're going to be great here, even though I can't even order dinner correctly.
Yeah,
dude, we're just trying our best over here, and hopefully that's good enough. Only time will tell.
Oh well. Next time.
Oh well. Yeah, next time.
Until next time, if you guys have dumb dad or dumb mom moments, you guys can send them in to us. You can email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram. We're at dumbdadpod, which is also our handle on TikTok and Twitter. We're the Dumb Dads on YouTube if you guys want to watch this podcast and other videos that we have exclusive on there, so you guys check those out. Please subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Write a review on Apple Podcasts would be really helpful to us. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. We love reading dumb parent moments. They're always fun. They help us know that we know we're idiots, but we just want to know you're dumb too. We just don't want to be alone.
Yeah, please help. Please send help.
Thanks to @Verdu for the intro and outro. And thanks as always to my wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. And let's end this podcast with a joke.
You ready?
Go.
Okay. My wife's really mad at me for the fact that I have no sense of direction. So I just packed up my stuff and write.
Yeah. That's more of like more of a speech issue than direction. And that's nothing to do with. Really, that's just, you can't put together a sentence correctly.
Yeah, whatever.
She's
average joke.
She's ready to be mad at you. Okay.
All right, buddy, feel better.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?